Good afternoon, guys.
Good afternoon.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us again. Things don't always go according to plan when we're boating, and this is one of those times yet again. So stay tuned and find out what's gone wrong this time and whether we can fix it. Well, it's Saturday afternoon and we've now been on this spot that we arrived at on the Staffs and Worcester, where the kind of like the old roundhouse is, and we got here last Saturday, so we've been here a week, and this is going to be one of the best mornings we've ever had.
Yeah, I love it. It's nice.
You know, we thought it was good when we got here, but it really is a fantastic mooring.
Yeah.
And you can probably hear there's nothing. It is such a peaceful area. It really is. The wildlife we see is fantastic.
Yeah.
It's great. So we're going to hang on here for another week, I think. Or at least until we run out of water.
Yeah. Whichever comes first.
Yeah. Whichever comes first. Hopefully we won't run out of water, because the weather forecast is supposedly going back down to 0 and minus figures.
We've got just under 3/4 of a tank.
Oh well, yeah.
Which will last. We can do a good 2 weeks on that.
Yeah, we are ample then. We just don't want to get caught out. Like I said, there's the forecast is it's going down to about -2, -3.
Again.
Yeah, but it's going to be quite mild through the day, so, and it's not all night that it's going down to that. So hopefully we won't get frozen. But
And you can't complain about the winter we've had so far.
no, it's actually quite mild today. Well,
Yeah.
you've not even got your coat on today,
No.
because it is quite mild. So yeah, but all the time we've been here, we haven't really been anywhere. We've been off with the dogs, and the dogs have had a good run around.
Oh,
And
Joyce, it's raining.
is it? Oh dear, it is mild, but apparently it's raining.
I could feel. I've just,
Is
unless
it?
you
It's
just,
not raining now.
Unless you just spat on me.
No. So we've not been out, and we've not really explored. So Saturday afternoon, I got to a point in work today where I could stop for a bit. So we've decided we're going for a little walk.
Yeah.
So we're heading down towards the lock that's just around the corner, and then we've been told by a friend who knows the area well that there's a nice garden centre, or a nursery. I think it's Ashwood Nursery.
Yes.
And they've recommended go there because they've got a lovely cafe. So
we're going for a cake and a coffee.
yeah, so we'll have a little explore, go and see what that's all about, and then get back to the dogs, because I don't want to leave them too long.
I wonder if it'll become par with Malcolm's lemon drizzle cake or Pauline's lemon drizzle cake. Oh,
That's if they've got lemon drizzle cake. You'll be gutted if they won't, will you?
yeah, I'll cry.
She loves the lemon drizzle cake.
My favourite cake. Pauline's making me one for my birthday, she said.
Yes, Lou's birthday soon. Only,
Yep.
well, when this comes out, probably a week.
19th of Feb.
Yeah, 19th of February. Right, let's have a wander on.
And I might not be here with you. I might be back home with baby.
Yeah, this is true. Because the baby's imminent. So we've just been in. We've had I had a scone and a coffee, and
Yes,
you had
apple pie, because they
apple
didn't
pie.
have lemon drizzle cake.
Oh well. And a hot chocolate. But you wasn't raving about the hot chocolate, was you?
Awful. It was nothing like my hot chocolate.
No, very weak, not a lot of chocolate.
1 scoop of chocolate powder.
Yeah. Made with milk though.
Yeah.
But yeah, not very strong. Luckily, it's a lovely nursery, absolutely lovely nursery, but unfortunately we don't live on land, so not really got room for many flowers, and we don't put flowers on the roof. But I do have some cactus or cacti inside the boat that I bought as little baby ones, and I've just bought another pot to pot them up in. I've ordered some soil and realised I've ordered way too much soil, and I could have got it here for a fraction of the price, but I didn't know this place was here, to be honest. So yeah, live and learn. So if anybody needs any cacti soil and I'm cruising around the canal, I've got an abundance of it. But yeah, lovely little little nursery, isn't it? So we need to start heading back because
it's going to go dark soon.
Yeah.
And we've got these country lanes to walk down and no torch.
Yeah, it's a bit of a grey day, grey drizzly day, so it's probably going to go dark earlier than it normally would, isn't it?
Go back and see to the doggies.
Yeah.
And you can watch rugby.
Oh yeah, rugby's on. Six Nation. Shall we walk?
Walk and talk.
Yeah, rugby's on. Oh, we need to be on that side. Rugby's on. I'm more of a rugby league fan than rugby union, but England's playing today, so
Is it England and France?
it's some, I can't remember who they're playing, but it's at Twickenham. So do you know what? I'm gonna, while I've already stopped now, I'll go back. I'll just have a little potter with what I was doing, finish that off, and then I'll watch a bit of rugby for a bit. That's my afternoon. What are you doing, Lee?
Nothing. Feet up, chillax. I've got to do some carrots and turnips. I'll
Yeah.
go with tea.
Yeah.
Homemade lobby with a crust.
Yep. A lot of people are interested in that, and we did mention in one of the Cheeky Tuesdays about doing some cooking and watching Lou doing some cooking, so that is going to be happening. Not in this vlog. We're going to get our monthly shopping, and we'll make sure we've got ingredients for do a few meals, and then we'll start recording them and throwing them out there, so bear with us on that one.
Well, you didn't warn me about that, did you?
Did you think I was just ducking for fun?
I wasn't looking.
Right, let's get back to the boat then. Morning. Been a couple of days now since we went to the cafe, and we've been working hard in the workshop trying to catch up with some orders. It's going to be one of those days today. Lady Brian has developed an engine fault again, and this time it's not looking too rosy. Still on the oil system, so we was running the engine yesterday in the morning to charge the batteries back up. Everything was running fine, everything seemed fine. The engine wasn't making any untoward noise, and it did exactly what we wanted it to do. And then yesterday late afternoon, the batteries were going a bit low. We'd been a bit power hungry with stuff in the workshop and whatnot, so we needed to run the engine. So Lou started the engine up, everything started fine, it ran fine, and then once the engine had warmed up, we knocked the revs back into idle, and the low oil pressure alarm started screaming. We had a look, and the oil pressure gauge is working fine. The oil pressure gauge had dropped down to low, and the alarm was going off accordingly. Yeah, so we know it's not the oil pressure sender unit that it was last time. That was just a wiring issue. I think it was just coincidental that now. We'll let the oil settle. I've checked it again this morning, and the oil level is on the full mark. So it's not that we've run out of oil. So I'm sure the sender unit's okay, and we've not got a loss of oil. So that means it could be something quite as simple as the oil filter is clogged up, and that's stopping oil flowing through properly, and that's giving us low pressure, which is the easy fix, because it's just an oil filter and an oil change. So we'll just get a service done, and that would solve the problem. The worrying part is anything after that is looking at things like the oil pump's gone, or maybe bearings, rings, all that kind of stuff could have gone. If it's any of those, I'm not 100% certain, but I think we have to remove the engine from the boat. We'd have to disconnect everything, get the engine took out of the boat so we can get underneath the engine, so that we can then take the oil pan off the bottom, get inside the engine to replace the oil pump, and then all the gaskets and everything else, you know. And that is going to cost stupid amounts of money, I think. I might be catastrophizing at the moment, thinking about that, but yeah, I don't think the oil pump is going to be a cheap part, but certainly having the engine removed and having a new oil pump fitted, I think we're possibly going to be going up into 4 figures. I hope to God we are nowhere near that, if it is that, because we just can't afford that. So at the moment now, Lady Brian is dead in the water. We can't start the engine, because we could risk really doing some major damage to the engine. So yeah, there's not a lot we can do at the moment. We aren't sure what we're going to do. We've got someone coming today who knows about engines. I'm not sure what it is. He's a friend of a friend that's kindly put us in touch, and he's going to come out this morning and come and have a listen to see if he can hear anything. I know that I've been told in the past that if we had a bit of an oil problem, then the top of the engine would be rattling around like a bag of spanners. Now, I didn't hear that last night, but Lou didn't hear it either. You know, I think we would have picked up on that. So hopefully, you know, if this guy's going to come down, he's going to have a listen to the engine, and he used to work with engines. He used to work repairing engines, so he will have a much better idea on it than me. Yeah, so my anxiety and everything is through the roof at the moment, because this is going to be either just a quick £10, you know, £30-40 for a new filter and some oil, and that's it. Lady Brian's up and running and no issues. Or we could be talking thousands of pounds. And yeah, I'm just having a bad moment at the moment. I'm going to go for a walk because I need to clear my head, because we just can't afford it if it gets to worst case scenario. And I don't know what we're going to do, because it means we're not going to be able to get to any markets and trade. I don't know how long we're going to be basically stuck in one spot without being able to run the engine. But let's keep our fingers crossed that everything's okay. and it is just an oil filter, but we should have a better idea, or at least we'll have things confirmed this morning, and then it's going to be trying to order an oil filter and some oil, and being able to go and pick that up and dealing with that. So I think we're going to be, I think it's Wednesday now. It's going to be Sunday at least before we can get that sorted. So if indeed he thinks that's what it is when we start, so fingers crossed for us, guys. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, good. What do you want me to say? It's just stressful.
Right. Hey, what, you restarting your phone?
Yeah. It's doing me head in.
Right.
It's freezing.
I don't think it's that bad.
My fingers are like ice and my toes are like
It's
ice.
glorious though, it's beautiful.
It's freezing.
It was all misty this morning, but
It was beautiful.
it's beautiful today.
Cold.
So, update. Oh, come on. Things on. I've just been in the workshop. Oh, it's good for Avalu if it keep the spirits up. So our man's been down and had a look at the engine, and yeah, we're a little wiser, if not none the wiser. Who knows? Lou's now on the phone to Horn Basin. So it could be a number of things. We've kind of worked out. It could be a cooling issue that's causing the problem. So we found that we've had a bit of a leak in the cooling system. Now, if water's getting out the cooling system, it can draw air into the cooling system, and if that's give us an air lock within that system, then that would make the engine run hotter, alter the viscosity of the oil, and that would give us low oil pressure. We started the engine today, and when we started it up, the oil pressure was slightly lower than it normally is when we first initially started up. But if we've burnt the oil with the engine being hot yesterday and we've damaged the oil, then that might then have altered its makeup, and that could be giving us a lower pressure. So I've been round, I've found the source of the leak on the cooling system, we've tightened that up, we've cleaned everything up, we've nipped all the pipes up, been round everything, and tightened everything up. So we shouldn't have that problem now with leakage. So that's one problem solved. And what we need to do now is get hold of some oil and a new oil filter. And so I just dropped something. Let's pick that up before I forget. So if we can get some oil and a new oil filter, then we can replace the oil, so we know we've got brand new, clean, fresh, good oil and a bright, fresh, spanking new oil filter. The main thing then is trying to get the airlock out of the system. Now, we don't have a bleed valve on the skin tank or anything like that, so it's a bit of a nightmare. So what they've suggested we do is take the header tank cap off and run the engine, and hopefully that will force the air to come out a lot easier, and we can get rid of that, and that will then come down. We can, if we lose water, we can fill it with water to the right levels, and hopefully the cooling system won't have an airlock in it if it has an airlock in it, and that'll stop the engine overheating. And if it's a clogged filter, bad oil that's causing low oil pressure, then we'll have changed that. If we do the oil filter and the oil and do the airlock and everything else, and we still have low pressure and overheating, then it's time to start crying, because then we're going to be talking thousands and thousands of pounds probably if we get this repaired, which is money we don't have. So everything at the moment is fingers crossed that once we do a service and change the oil and the filter and try and sort out the coolant situation, hopefully that will solve it. So yeah, Lou's just on the phone to Autumn Base and trying to order the parts in, and then we can go and pick them up by car. So fingers crossed, eh guys? Fingers crossed. The joys of boating.